Okay, recapping the game. When I looked at it, I mean, we had an opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. And that's really what we talked about. I think we were up by 6. Start of the fourth quarter, they had the ball around the 40-yard line, and of course they end up. We had trouble stopping the run. They threw a touchdown pass. The 2 times the offense had the ball went 3 and out. Other than that desperation drive at the very end, we were down double digits. One thing I am extremely proud of is our players. We talked about a big factor being able, can we put that tough loss in the Iron Bowl behind us and get prepared to play? And our guys did that, and they fought hard. Give Texas A&M credit. They're a very good team. They're very experienced, and if you look at this year, the teams that are doing really well are the teams that had the most experience, and they're one of them. Disappointed for our seniors not being able to send those guys out the right way with a victory against a number 5 team, in the country. But I am proud of our players, the way they fought. I want to clarify a question that I was asked after the game about our goal was, to be 7-3. Obviously, that's not going to happen after that loss, and now our goal is going to be 6-4. Now we won 5, and we're playing a SEC team on the road, which is going to be a big challenge. But was asked if it would be a solid season. Just want to make sure that it's very clear. Our expectation to win championships here at Auburn, and it's been that way since I've been here. We're not happy, with a 6-1 season, but under the circumstances of being an experienced team, having a couple injuries, not having non-conference schedules, which in the past we've been very good in non-conference, but make no mistake, our goal is to win championships. Now, I will say this, I'm extremely excited about next year. We've got 1 game left this coming week on the road in the SEC to finish up this unique season, but we got the majority of our guys coming back. Very excited about next year. I think we got a chance to have a really, really special year if the majority of our guys, come back. So very excited about that. Questions?
First question is Jason Caldwell.
Gus, KJ, gets hurt early in the year, and Jacoby and Owen have played really well, but you haven't really had anybody else play linebacker. First, just talk about what the job those 2 guys have done, and then how much has it hurt you guys not to have really anybody behind them at the moment?
Yeah, I think, first of all, KJ Britt, he's our team leader. He's one of the better players in the SEC, and we lost him game 2 or whatever, so that was a big blow. But Jacoby and Owen, they've really stepped up. Jacoby had 17 tackles. He had a sack. He had a couple of TFLs. He had a caused fumble, and he was shedding blocks left and right. And Owen's had a very solid year. But Cam Riley's a guy that we feel very good about. That's played at times, and think he's going to be in a really good spot. And a couple of those other young guys too that we feel like are going to be excellent linebackers. Jason, the unique thing is this year's, you don't have any non-conference games, and so it's hard to develop young guys when you normally have 3 non-conference or 4 non-conference, and some games you can really give them some quality time in the second half. Now I know in the LSU game we were able to do that, but the rest of the games have been pretty close, and so it's been a little bit unique, and challenge about developing that depth.
Yeah, you normally rotate guys on defense some. Do you ever remember 2 guys playing as many snaps as these 2 guys have?
It's been a while. There's no doubt. Both those guys have been warriors and really have really gutted out and played very solid football.
Jay Tate.
Hey guys, thanks for taking some time. With you guys, I guess 5-4 right now. A lot of people are upset. Auburn people upset. They were kind of mad in 2018 too. Do you ever just get kind of weary on a personal level or a professional level, just from people always being kind of fussed about how you guys are performing?
Well, when we're not in the mix to win championships, that's part of being the coach here. They expect to win championships, just like I said. And this year was an extremely tough year for a lot of different circumstances. We are one of the least experienced teams. We had a couple of injuries, and I think that had some of the issues. But like I said, next year, I think it's really set up. I'm very excited about that, and for the first time, it's towards the end of the year, and you really let my mind kind of go there as far as the future and all that. And I think we're going to be right in the mix next year, and end up being one of the most experienced teams coming back. And then when we've done that, if you really look at it, that's the years that we've had the special years when we've been one of the more experienced teams, and we'll have that next year.
Nathan King.
Hey guys, I wanted to ask about Devin Barrett. I don't think we've seen him suited up since before the LSU game. Do you have a status on him, or what's up with that?
Yeah, Devin, gosh, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, opted out, and so I'm not for sure, if he's going to look in other schools or whatever.
Steve Moulton.
Coach, you mentioned being focused on this week, obviously, but I was wondering if you had a thought on the potential bowl game for this team this year.
No, honestly, it's just been focused on the 10 regular seasons and taking it week to week, and trying to get to where we could play, as far as the COVID goes and everything. So I've just been really focused on that. This is the 10th one, and so we're playing on the road in the SEC against a team that, I think is fairly dangerous. So our focus is all on that, and we'll cross that bridge, after the game.
And Coach, if I could, I know National Signing Day is coming up. I was wondering in particular about offensive linemen. How difficult is it, and what do you look for in a particular offensive lineman that you would like to come to Auburn?
Well, we got the majority of our guys coming back, because I think you're going to see that group's done a really good job. And even though we've had some major injuries up front, I mean, we really rushed for 200 yards against the #1 defense. Yesterday, I know we had a sack late in the game in desperation time that took a couple of those yards, but you see that group growing. And then with the guys that we got coming in, I think we're in really good shape. I do know next year will be a completely different standpoint as far as experience and having depth, quality depth. But I think if you look at the circumstances with the inexperience, which I think we were the least inexperienced or experienced offensive line in our league, and we lost a guy or two, and we've had injuries, and we've been able to run the football pretty effective. So I think the future in offensive line looks really good.
Jordan Hill.
Gus, you talked about Zacoby a little there at the start, but what sort of growth have you seen from him this year, especially with KJ being out?
Well, he's got a nose for the football. I mean, he can take on blocks. He can run around blocks. He plays with tremendous effort. Like I said, his instincts are what stand out to me. And, he hadn't been 100% all year either. I mean, so for him to do what he did yesterday was just an unbelievable effort. And, like I said, our two guys, I mean, I'd put them up against any two linebackers in the league right now.
Mark Murphy.
Yeah, just want to check and see how Christian Tutt's doing.
Yeah, of course, we didn't practice tonight, and that was by design. I made that call last week. I just felt like, 9 SEC games, a lot of our guys' bodies are talking to them. They're physically tired, emotionally tired with everything. And so we just made the call last Tuesday that we're not going to practice on Sunday. We're just going to come in and get the film, let the guys kind of heal up and rest their minds and bodies. I know that he got checked out, with our trainers and treatment and all that. We'll see as the week goes.
Jordan Hill.
Gus, I wanted to ask with those 2 3-and-outs there at the end. I mean, looking back on the film, was there anything that sort of stood out to you about what sort of happened?
No, I think we had both of them. I think were fairly third down and longs, and of course, we were trying to get to where we could get to third down and medium, which we had success against them. But I think one of them, they rolled the safety down and got us for no gain, and then we had an RPO and we ran it and it went for 1 or 2, and I think that was the first down calls, which end up not getting very many yards. I think we had an incompletion, but the thing about it, they're a really good defense, and that second and third quarter we got really some good rhythm and got a first down, but it was just one of those games. The offense didn't have that many possessions, and when you don't have that many possessions, everything's magnified. And they had 3 or 4 really long drives, against the top defense, in the SEC. And I think the big difference was, if we could have scored some touchdowns, we had to kick 2 field goals inside the 10, and in one, I think we had a really good opportunity. But that's just, to beat a team like that, you got to have those things happen. But when you don't get that many possessions offensively, things are magnified.
Josh Vitale.
Hey Gus, we've gotten pretty used to seeing this defense, or defenses that Auburn dominate the past few years under Kevin Steele. This one hasn't been as good in a lot of categories. What do you think has been the difference this season was just some of the struggles on that side of the ball?
Well, I mean, we lost some big time defensive guys last year, and we've got some inexperience, and guys are trying to grow, and we've had some growing pains, but we lost some really good players last year.
Justin Ferguson.
I guess I want to ask you about Worm, and he's had a few games here down the stretch where he's gotten more carries than usual. He's had some really good games. How big has he been, and where have you seen him grow the running back?
Yeah, of course, we talked all fall camp that he had not a good fall camp, but a great fall camp, and it was really unfortunate. He got an injury, early, I guess, that first game, and so he's kind of been battling it. And of course, he almost house called the one on our sideline. It was really close to going the distance, and he rolled his ankle up, I think, on that play again, but he taped it up. He's a tough guy. He kept battling. Thought he ran hard. He really tried to fall forward. He ran over a couple people, but, he's a big key, to our offense.
Mark Murphy.
Yeah, can you talk about changing up in a big-time way this week, facing a team that hardly runs the ball after playing a team that ran the ball 47 times last week?
Yeah, it's one extreme the other. The thing about it, they've had a week off, an extra week to prepare for us. They got good coaches. Their defense is very disruptive, does a very good job. Their offense, like you said, it's completely one extreme to the other, as far as throwing to open up the run. And, they played a very competitive, game against Ole Miss. So, like I said, we're expecting to get their best, especially the fact they've had a week off to prepare for us.
All right, Coach, we got one more from Steve Moulton.
Coach, Jay kind of asked earlier, but if you do have one message to the fans out there, what would that one message be?
Well, I'm excited about our future. I'm excited about next year. As far as all the guys coming back, and like I said earlier, when we've had experienced teams, that's the years we've won championships, and so that's what I'm excited about.